Okay, so this is going to be our video of how to make our plastic yarn out of plastic bags. You're just going to start with a bag, and we're going to try and make it flat. So if you have any holes with your bag initially, you're going to want to pay careful attention to that. You'll see why in a little bit. But try and get it as flat as possible so you have a nice flat surface to cut. And what we're going to do is, this is the bottom of the bag, this is the top, obviously. You're going to want to flip it towards you. This is easier to see. I'll keep it this way. And we're going to be cutting lines this way, so it'll be parallel to the bottom of the bag. And they're going to be about yay big. I'd say that's maybe an inch or two. I don't really know. But I'd say like in between, yeah, I'd say about the width of 3 fingers. 2 would be too small, so I'd say about 3 is good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with cutting off this bottom part of the bag, because we can't use that, because what we're trying to make is loops. So if you cut across, and obviously these don't have to look beautiful, like you want to get as straight as possible, but you know, it can't always be perfect. So this will be a little piece of garbage that we can't use. So unfortunately, we will have a little bit of extra material left over when you're making the yarn, which isn't ideal, but you'll have to just recycle that. So now from here, we're able to make loops because the bag is open. So a lot of bags, as you saw, like that had a little like, I don't know what you call it. It kind of cinched at the bottom. So you gotta make sure you pull that part out. So that makes these weird, like not all bags are like this, but some of them are, so just so you're aware. So I like to then cut off these weird like little things so we have like a flat line at the bottom. So now we'll cut about, it's about 3 finger width, and you'll just cut straight across. Make sure you're going through both sides. This maybe got a little too thick, but in the middle, but otherwise it's close enough. And then you'll have a loop from that. And you'll just keep going until you get to the top. I will not show you, but then once you get to the top, I'm not going to cut this whole bag, but once you get to the top, you'll cut off the handles because we can't do anything with the handles. And this will be your second part of garbage. And then this you'll cut again into the different loops. So then, just to show you what is and isn't acceptable, I would say this is about as thick as you want to get. I wouldn't go any thicker than that. That was not my best job, but I'd say like if you stay around this size, this would be perfect. This is an example of way too thin. I accidentally cut this one earlier. So, if anything ends up looking like that, do not use it. And the reason why is you pull and it's just going to snap. So, with that, and also, this does not count as a loop. This one broke earlier. So if you end up with something that's just a straight line, you can't use that because we absolutely need the loops, and you'll see why. So once you have a bunch of loops, I cut a bunch of loops earlier, so these are a lot of loops I have. This is how we're going to make the yarn out of the loops. So, to start, you're going to take 2 loops. I'm going to move these out of the way so it's clear what's happening. And what you're going to do, you're going to cross them over. So it's kind of like I forgot what you call it, compare and contrast thing. And you're going to pull one under the other and then pull it through the middle of its circle. And then it'll make a little knot in the middle. And don't pull any tighter than this. This is about the size of knot you want. It's perfect, just like that. So then you have a line with your bags. So then you'll just keep adding to one side, and you'll just keep doing this process. So we got this loop right here, we have this loop right here, and we'll pull this under and through. And then sometimes you'll have to kind of mess around with the bags. But make sure it doesn't go too tight. Make sure it isn't too loose. You kind of want it to be as flush across as you can. Obviously, this isn't like perfectly flush, but you don't want like a huge knot that's like that big, because this will be crocheted, so you want it to be as easy as possible. So you'll keep going like that, and then once you end up with a line of, it can honestly be as many as you want. Then you're just going to take it, and how you do this part doesn't necessarily matter, but then you'll roll it into a ball, and eventually you'll just keep adding on to this loop, and this will be your yarn. So basically that is the sum of it. Again, remember you will end up with some scraps. You'll have to recycle those. Try not to go too thin with your strips or they will break. And it's pretty simple from there. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and have fun.